Hi, so recently I made this redesign of this clip from Stellar Blade, and I used this as an opportunity to do a study on these kind of mechanical sci-fi sounds. And without further ado, let me show you how I went about achieving this kind of sound. So I started off by recording like an airsoft gun, and this is what I recorded right here. As you can see, I kind of try to match up the hits with the hits from the video, so they align. And these still don't really sound thick, so I added some post-processing. So first off, I have this noise reduction preset for the recording, so it sounds a little bit less noisy. Then I'm just cutting away some of the low end here, adding an OTT to make it thick. Then I'm adding the snap heap here to enhance these transients, add a flanger to make it sound a little bit more sci-fi, and I'm adding this multipass where I'm frequency shifting the mid-range a little bit to tweak the tonality, and I'm frequency shifting the low end a little bit down and saturating the low end to make it more juicy and thick. I'm also adding some dispersers and the dynamics here. These dispersers are very handy for achieving this kind of wet sci-fi-ish sound. Then in the Serum Effects instance, I'm adding a comb filter to make it sound even more sci-fi and metallic, and I'm compressing it a little bit. I'm adding a chorus and a filter with this diffuser filter, which makes the signal sound kind of dispersed. Then here I'm taming the sound a little bit more with some Soothe 2, and I'm also adding Ambassador to add some more low end to make these mechanical sounds even more impactful. Some saturation with the black box and some bass lane, which is adding some sidearm harmonics right here, and a final EQ just to tame some annoying frequencies over here. And with all that, it sounds very, very juicy. The second element, which is making this sound quite juicy, are these synth elements right here. I made these by taking a bass jam I made earlier. I think I made that with just a saw wave and lots of OTT and spectral gating, and I put this in Native Instruments form, which is kind of a granular synth in a way, which also can FM. I think it sounds very nice for these for sci-fi stuff. So with this bass jam imported into form, I tweaked some of these settings right here, and it ended up sounding a little bit like this. I just added some OTT on there, some disperser, a driver to make it more thick. And I tweaked the settings a little bit in form and recorded myself doing that. Also, I added this plugin called Locked, which is a phase locking plugin which locks the phase of the signal, so you get these kind of saw tones out of it. Very nice. So I took this recording and lined up the timing of these hits with the video, and I also added some simple processing on there, just some EQ, some Soothe as well to tame the signal, and a Serum FX, which is just adding a little delay throw right here at the end. One thing that I also found quite important in this design is this layer right here. This tremolo layer, which is again the same bass jam I made earlier, but with a tremolo effect, and I think it's high passed. Yeah, okay. So I think this adds a very nice texture to the design. So what else do we have here? I have this camera sound here, which is supposed to be this motor right here of this wacky device moving. And this is actually a little digital camera I recorded. And I just added some effects, with the main one being this kilohertz ring mod to shift the tonality a little bit. There are also like some other sounds from form, where I just put like different signals into form and mess with it, and I just put these in as well for like more texture. Also for more texture, I made this little patch in Faceplant right here. Because I wanted to have like a more mechanical layer. And for that, I just took some random recordings of household items and put these into multiple granular oscillators. And they are all being scrubbed through with this LFO right here. So what do we have here? There's like some coins, there's a recording of like a metal bar, and there's like a recording of a trash bin. And these are all going through this chain right here, which is just some heavy transient shaving, some dispersers, an EQ, and some frequency shifty action. Oh, and this pitch shifter on a higher grain size to make the sound more grainy and glitchy. Then to that I added a vocoder and a Serum FX with another comb filter. I then resampled this and I put it underneath the design as like a additional layer. Also, because there's like some electricity here, I added like an electricity patch I made, which is like a saw wave, which is FMing a sine wave on a very high frequency, which is being high passed, so quite simple stuff. And there are also like these lasers to accent like certain parts in the design. And this impact right here, which I made by putting some reverb on a bass drum. Also, there is this space ambience I made in Faceplant, which is just some white noise bandpass and a granular oscillator with some water Foley, and this other granular oscillator with some random modular sample from Faceplant's stock library. So yes. I think this turned out quite well. I kind of achieved the sound I wanted to achieve. Mainly, I think my main takeaways from this design are sounds with tremolo in the background are awesome for sci-fi stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you. Bye bye.